The moment I walked into my parents' house with Dr. Rebecca Chen trailing behind me, my mother's smile froze. My sister Ashley went pale. And my father just stared at the briefcase in Dr. Chen's hand like it was a bomb. Because in a way, it was, and they had no idea I'd been documenting everything for 3 years. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell me where you're watching from. My name is Lauren, and I'm 32 years old. I have a master's degree in social work, a job I love, and an apartment in the city. On paper, I'm a successful adult. But every Thanksgiving, my parents make me sit at the kids' table, not because there's no room at the adult table, because they don't think I belong there. Let me explain. I'm the middle child of 3. My older sister Ashley is 35, married with 2 kids, and works part-time as a real estate agent. My younger brother Connor is 28, engaged, and works in finance. And then there's me, single, childless, and apparently not adult enough to sit with the grown-ups. It started when I was 23. I just graduated college and was living at home while I looked for a job. That Thanksgiving, my mom set the table and gestured to the folding table in the corner of the dining room. "You'll sit over there with the kids, sweetie," she said casually. I laughed. "Mom, I'm 23. "I know, but Ashley and Mark need to sit with us. They're married now. It's different." I thought it was a one-time thing, a fluke. But the next year it happened again, and the year after that, and every single year since. At first I tried to laugh it off. "Guess I'm perpetually 12 in this house," I'd joke. But deep down, it stung. Because it wasn't really about the table, it was about what the table represented. The adult table was for people my parents respected, people who had made it, people with spouses, kids, mortgages, and minivans. The kids' table was for everyone else. And no matter what I accomplished, I was still everyone else. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was how they talked about me when they thought I couldn't hear. 3 years ago, I was sitting at the kids' table with my niece, Emma, age 7, and my nephew, Tyler, age 5. Emma was coloring, Tyler was throwing mashed potatoes, and I was pretending to be fine. From the adult table, I could hear my mother's voice. "Well, we're just worried about Lauren," she was saying to Ashley. "She's 30 now, and she's still, alone." Ashley made a sympathetic noise. "Has she tried online dating?" "I've suggested it," my mom said, "but she's so picky. I don't think she realizes how hard it'll be to find someone at her age." I sat there, fork frozen halfway to my mouth. At her age, I was 30, not 70. "Maybe she's just focused on her career," my dad offered half-heartedly. "A career isn't going to keep her warm at night," my mom said, and everyone at the table laughed. Everyone except me. I didn't say anything. I just smiled at Emma and asked her about her drawing, but inside I was screaming. The year after that, it got worse. Connor brought his fiancée, Melissa, to Thanksgiving for the first time. They'd been dating for 8 months. My mom seated them at the adult table immediately. "They're practically married," she gushed. I'd been in a relationship for 2 years at that point. His name was David. We lived together. We had a dog. But my mom had never invited him to Thanksgiving. "It's just family," she'd say whenever I brought it up. So I sat at the kids' table again, this time with Emma, Tyler, and Connor's fiancé's nephew, a 4-year-old who kept asking me why I didn't have a husband. "I don't know, buddy," I said. "Maybe I'm defective." He looked confused. "Join the club, kid." At the adult table, my mom was toasting Connor and Melissa. "We're so excited to welcome you to the family," she said, beaming. I wanted to flip the table, but I didn't. I just sat there, cutting a piece of turkey for a 4-year-old and wondering why I kept coming back. Last year was the breaking point. I'd just gotten a promotion at work. I was now supervising a team of 12 people and running a program that served over 300 families. I was proud of myself. I thought maybe, finally, my parents would be proud too. I mentioned it at Thanksgiving dinner. Well, I tried to. I was sitting at the kids' table again, but I raised my voice so the adults could hear. "So I got some good news at work this month," I said. My mom glanced over. "That's nice, honey." Then she immediately turned back to Ashley. "So how's the new house?" Ashley launched into a 20-minute story about their renovations. Everyone listened, asked questions, offered advice. I sat there in silence. Emma tugged on my sleeve. Aunt Lauren, can you open my juice box? Sure, sweetie, I said, and I felt something inside me crack. After dinner, I was in the kitchen helping clean up. My mom and Ashley were loading the dishwasher. I overheard my mom say, I just wish Lauren would settle down. It's getting embarrassing. Embarrassing? Ashley repeated, well, you know, all her friends are married. People ask me about her, and I don't know what to say. I stood there holding a stack of plates, frozen. Embarrassing. I was embarrassing to her. I didn't confront her. I didn't say a word. I just finished cleaning, said goodbye, and drove home. And I cried the entire way. That night, I called my best friend Rachel. I can't do this anymore, I said. Then don't, she said simply. What do you mean? Stop going. You don't owe them Thanksgiving. You don't owe them anything. But I couldn't just stop going because despite everything, part of me still hoped they'd change. That one year, they'd see me, really see me, so I made a decision. I wasn't going to skip Thanksgiving, but I wasn't going to sit quietly at the kids' table anymore either. I started documenting everything, every dismissive comment. Every time they talked over me, every moment I was excluded, I recorded conversations. Legally, I live in a one-party consent state. I kept a journal, I saved text messages, and then I reached out to Dr. Rebecca Chen. She was a family therapist I'd met through work. I explained my situation and asked if she'd be willing to do something unconventional. I want to bring you to Thanksgiving, I said, as a neutral observer, to witness what I've been dealing with. She was quiet for a moment. That's bold, she said. I know. But I need someone to validate what I'm experiencing because I'm starting to think I'm crazy. You're not crazy, she said gently. I'll do it. The week before Thanksgiving, I almost backed out. I thought about how awkward it would be, how angry my parents would be, how Ashley would call me dramatic. But then I remembered sitting at that kid's table year after year. I remembered the jokes at my expense, the dismissive comments, the way they made me feel small. And I realized if I didn't do this now, I never would. I'd spend the rest of my life sitting at that table, invisible and unheard. So I didn't back out. I confirmed with Dr. Chen, and I sent my mom a text. Bringing a +1 this year. Hope that's okay. She replied immediately, Of course. Is it someone special? I didn't answer. Thanksgiving Day. I picked up Dr. Chen at noon. She was dressed professionally, but casually. Blazer, slacks, a kind smile. Are you ready for this? She asked. No, I said, but I'm doing it anyway. We arrived at my parents' house at 2 p.m. My mom opened the door, and her smile froze when she saw Dr. Chen. Oh, she said, I thought. This is Dr. Rebecca Chen, I said. She's a family therapist. I invited her to observe our family dynamic today. My mom's face went pale. Observe? She repeated. Yes, I said calmly. I've been feeling like my experience at these gatherings isn't being taken seriously, so I thought it would be helpful to have a professional perspective. Dr. Chen extended her hand. It's nice to meet you, Mrs. Patterson. I'm here purely as an observer. I won't interrupt or interfere. My mom shook her hand mechanically, then she looked at me. Lauren, can I talk to you in the kitchen? Sure, I said. In the kitchen, my mom hissed, What are you doing? I'm bringing someone who can help, I said. Help with what? With understanding why I feel the way I do. This is ridiculous, she said. You're making a scene. I haven't made a scene yet, I said quietly, but if you'd like, I can. She stared at me. For the first time in my life, I didn't back down. Dr. Chen is staying, I said, and if you have a problem with that, I'll leave, but if I leave, I'm not coming back. My mom's face flushed, but she didn't argue. She just turned and walked back to the dining room. Dinner was tense. Dr. Chen sat quietly at the end of the table, a notebook in front of her. She didn't write anything yet, just observed. When it came time to sit down, my mom gestured to the kids' table. Lauren, you're over here, she said. I looked at Dr. Chen. She raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Actually, I said, I'd like to sit at the adult table this year. My mom laughed nervously. There's no room, honey. There are 8 chairs and 7 people, I said. There's room. The room went silent. Ashley looked uncomfortable. Connor stared at his plate. My dad cleared his throat. Lauren, don't make this difficult. I'm not making anything difficult, I said. I'm 32 years old. I have a master's degree. I run a program that helps hundreds of families, and I'd like to sit at the adult table. My mom's face went red. This is how we've always done it, she said. And I'm asking us to do it differently, I said. Dr. Chen finally spoke. Mrs. Patterson, she said gently, may I ask why Lauren typically sits at the children's table? My mom looked flustered. Well, it's just, there's limited space, and Ashley and Connor have partners, so the seating is based on relationship status. Dr. Chen asked. No, it's not. Then what is it based on? My mom couldn't answer, because there was no good answer. I sat down at the adult table in the empty chair next to my dad. No one stopped me. Dinner was awkward. My mom barely spoke to me. Ashley kept shooting me nervous glances. Connor looked like he wanted to disappear, but I didn't care, because for the first time in 10 years, I was sitting where I belonged. Halfway through the meal, my mom couldn't take it anymore. You know, Lauren, this whole thing is really unnecessary, she said. Bringing a therapist to Thanksgiving, it's insulting. Is it? I asked calmly. Or is it finally holding you accountable? Accountable for what? Ashley snapped. For hosting Thanksgiving every year, for making sure everyone has a nice time. For treating me like I don't matter, I said. The table went silent. That's not fair, my mom said, her voice shaking. We love you. Then why do you talk about me like I'm a problem to be solved? I asked. I pulled out my phone. I have 3 years of recordings, I said. Conversations where you discussed how embarrassing I am, how I'm too picky, how I need to settle down before it's too late. My mom's face went white. You recorded us? Ashley said, horrified. I live in a one-party consent state, I said. It's legal and I needed proof because every time I tried to tell you how I felt, you dismissed me. I looked at Dr. Chen. Would you like to share your observations? I asked. She nodded. Based on what I've witnessed today, Dr. Chen said, there's a clear pattern of exclusion and dismissal. Lauren has been systematically marginalized within this family dynamic, often based on arbitrary criteria like relationship status. And when she's attempted to assert herself, she's been met with defensiveness rather than empathy. My dad looked stunned. Ashley looked angry. My mom looked like she was about to cry. I didn't bring Dr. Chen here to humiliate you, I said. I brought her here because I needed someone to validate what I've been experiencing, because you've all made me feel crazy for feeling hurt. We never meant to hurt you, my mom whispered. But you did, I said. And you kept doing it, year after year. I stood up. I'm leaving, I said, and I won't be coming back unless things change. Real change, not just apologies. Dr. Chen stood with me. If you'd like, she said to my parents, I'd be happy to facilitate a family therapy session, but that's entirely up to you. My mom didn't respond. Ashley looked furious. Connor looked relieved, and my dad just looked sad. I walked out, Dr. Chen followed, and as I got into my car, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Relief. The next day, my phone was flooded with messages. Ashley, you embarrassed Mom in front of a stranger. I hope you're happy. Connor, that was intense, but honestly, I get it. My dad, can we talk? My mom, nothing. I didn't respond to Ashley. I texted Connor back, thanks for understanding. And I called my dad. I'm sorry, he said immediately. I didn't realize how bad it had gotten. It's been bad for a long time, I said. I know. And I should have said something. I should have stood up for you. I was quiet. Your mom is devastated, he continued. She doesn't understand why you're so angry. Because she's never listened, I said. Not really. Will you give her a chance to? He asked. I thought about it. Maybe, I said. But not right now. I need space. I understand, he said. And for the first time, I believed him. 2 weeks later, my mom called. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. I've been thinking about what you said, she began. and I talked to Dr. Chen. You did? I was genuinely surprised. Yes. We had a session. Just me and your father. She paused. She helped me see some things I didn't want to see. My mom continued, about how I've treated you, about the messages I've been sending. I didn't say anything. I'm not going to make excuses, she said, but I want you to know. I'm sorry, really sorry. Her voice cracked, and despite everything, I felt my own eyes well up. I don't know if I can just forgive and forget, I said. I'm not asking you to, she said. I'm just asking for a chance to do better. It's been 6 months since that Thanksgiving. My family started going to therapy together, not every week, but regularly. It's awkward, it's hard, it's uncomfortable, but it's happening. Last month, we had a family dinner, just a regular Sunday dinner. And when I walked in, my mom had set the table. There was no kids' table, just one big table with a seat for me right in the middle. I sat down, and for the first time in years, I felt like I belonged, not because I'd gotten married or had kids or bought a house, but because I demanded to be seen. And finally, they were looking. Ashley still doesn't really talk to me. She thinks I overreacted, and maybe I did, but I don't regret it, because sometimes you have to make people uncomfortable to make them understand. Sometimes you have to bring a stranger into the room to show your family who you really are. Dr. Chen still checks in with me sometimes. How are you doing? She'll ask. Better, I always say. And I mean it. I'm not at the kids' table anymore, not literally, not figuratively, and I'm never going back.